Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another live TA session brought to you by Crypto Society. We have with us here Frank, we have Pumpeye, and we have Bilo. Say hi, everybody.
Good evening.
Hey, hey, hey.
So, as usual, we'll open it up with a Bitcoin chart. Bitcoin scared everybody a few days ago, went down as low as 47,000. We at Crypto Society had announced several times that a break below 46,000 would be very bad news and would bring us to test somewhere as around 39, 40,000. Thankfully, we did not make it that low. We also had this nice looking bullish wedge, which we were keeping our eyes on, and we had a very nice bounce off of the bullish wedge. And as we can see, we're making it back up as we speak. We also made some announcements that we don't think Bitcoin is just going to rise straight up to the target. There will be some retracements along the way. Looking at the daily chart, it looks pretty healthy. There's a lot of room for RSI and money flow to kick in and make higher highs. But of course, we do see some retracements, which are normal. Looking at the same chart on the 4 hours, we can see a bit clearly how these retracements will take place. This is the bounce that I was referring to earlier off of the bullish wedge. I was expecting a little bit of a retest of this bullish wedge, but Bitcoin decided to continue on up. Still looking pretty bullish. There are no clear divergences to be spoken of at the moment. I'll let Frank comment on the chart, and then Pumpy also can comment using our new market cipher indicator, which we recently purchased and has come in quite handy. Go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, thanks, Bilo. Yeah, as you know, I haven't been following Bitcoin so much. I've been eyeing up Ethereum along with Lewis quite strongly. But I mean, I really like what I see here with the retracement and this falling wedge. I think it's clear as day 21. I'm surprised actually if we don't come down and retest that. But looking at also the angle of it, it just seems very aggressive to do that. If you're following kind of like the breakout of the wedge, what I'm imagining, and a retest before really going up to the target, but it just seems almost too aggressive, probably around the 49, 50,000 mark. So I just don't see that happening. I think what I would say price action wise is that we see some profit taken here, and then we kind of create a inverse head and shoulders from kind of like the B point, kind of like the trend line from the B point, with a much lower retracement. Yeah, exactly, with kind of like a 382 retracement from the move up that we just saw. I think I wouldn't expect a much deeper retracement than that myself. But other than that, I think everyone's looking upwards now, as far as that's concerned, and I'm healthy and good, and I'm happy. The longer Bitcoin takes to get to all-time highs, the better it is for all the alts.
Oh, for sure.
And I actually think it may be some time. I know we're starting. I think this may have been the bottom. It definitely feels like it. So I'm part of the fear that I'm having in terms of where we are in the cycle, more than just price action, where we are in the cycle and psychology of it. I fear that we may be coming up to some really aggressive moves to the upside, but I'd like these to be as postponed as possible. I think these consolidations at these ranges for me are the healthiest. The longer they go on, the longer and the higher we'll go ultimately. So patience is the key, even on the bull side of things.
If it's fast, it won't last. If it's slow, let it grow.
Who told you that? No, that's kind of what I'm seeing, and always. So that's what I'm seeing, yeah. And in contrast, I don't know if you have a chart on Ethereum below.
Yeah, I'll put it up right away. I just wanted Pumpy to comment a little bit on the market cipher.
Sorry, yeah, of course.
Go ahead, Pumpy.
Okay, so looking at the market cipher, just so people are aware of what they're looking at, The dark blue indicator on the market cipher B down towards the bottom of the screen is a lagging momentum indicator. The light blue that is kind of a shadow around it is the leading momentum indicator. And what they tell you is how momentum is shifting towards the positive or negative. And you can see from the leading indicator that it turns before the lagging, as it would suggest. And it gives you an indication that things might be about to change. So we have, as Bilo's pointing out, we have a green circle right at the bottom, which corresponds, I mean, Bilo, can you just hold your cursor back there? Which corresponds with somewhere around that bottom area, saying that we are going to turn at that point. And we did have another little pitch down afterwards, but it's marking that this is around the bottom area, and it's possibly a good time to get in. Then a little bit further up, we've got a few different mixed signals actually, but you'll learn over time when you're looking at this market cipher that you shouldn't just take one particular indicator by itself. You should be looking at various different aspects of it. We've got a couple of red and green dots. It's suggesting that could have been a good time to get in, and then finally you start seeing the money flow indicator, which is the red, start to move up, showing that it's going towards the positive. And the VWAP indicator, the volume weighted average price indicator, is also starting to go up, which would show that the average price is on the positive side. So that's all very well and positive. You can see by the momentum indicators that we are sort of getting towards a bit of a top there actually, that it's showing that we might see a tiny bit of downside for now, but of course you can't go up forever. You need to see some downside in order to be able to keep going up. So that's probably positive, despite the fact that it might have a negative impact on the altcoins in the short term. They obviously also need to do the same, and to some degree they're controlled by Bitcoin, so you might see that this represents retests of various different patterns as Bitcoin forces the price back down.
Nice. Pumpeye, I'm going to turn on market cipher A, see what
Yep.
you can tell us with the various symbols.
Sure. So if you look between where the head and shoulders is, we've gone down towards the head on the C wave, you can see that there's two yellow crosses there. What that normally means is that whales are manipulating the price in order to push it down, and it's not a good time to be getting into the market, so it's showing that you shouldn't really get into the market at that point. And of course that's just before.
Does this go to your previous point, Pumpy, that while you may have seen a green dot here, seeing those two X's here indicated
Yep.
some manipulation by the whales?
Yep.
And we did see this, we did indeed see this dump, which also happened to coincide with the bottom of the wedge, but technically it was right because there was manipulation and a dump and then a jump, a bounce from there.
Indeed.
So then this goes to your point earlier that you can't just take one indicator, I guess.
Indeed. And you can see there's a red dot that's appearing at the top of that momentum indicator, the blue momentum indicator. I'm actually talking on the market cipher B. That's indicating that at the moment it's a good time to be wary and potentially sell off to, if you want to trade, to buy back in, because there's a good chance that we're going to go down for a little bit. That's not.
So it might be a good place for a scalp. It's a good place for a scalp.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, look, quick question, and thanks, Pumpeye, because I'm also familiarizing myself much more with market cipher. Quick question: where would the 382 retracement go from this move up that we just saw?
What? Say that again, please.
The 382.382 retracement of the move we just saw up.
1 second.
Because if I was a gambling man, and I'm not, I think this is kind of where I would like to see it go down and see some of the indicators refresh before a next move up.
Sure, I'll just set it up because
Bilo, if you go on the templates, if you go into the settings, then go to template and click Pumpeye Fib, you'll have it automatically, and it will go with the dark background.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, so 382 is about 52K, Frank.
Right, yeah. And that would also be in the bottom of those bands, so we might not even go that low. But I think we're all kind of saying that we need a cool-off period after this move up.
What's interesting, okay, is that we're on the 4-hour chart, and look at where 55 AMA is. It's at 53.7, and 55 AMA on the 4-hour chart usually is very good support. So if we do go down, I don't expect we're going to go down much. It's 53.7. It's about $1,000 from here. So it's like Pumpeye was saying, this little red dot here is more of a scalp indicator than a dump indicator. If you're looking to try to make sense of the market cipher A.
So I just want to point out at this point quickly, as you're discussing that, Bilo, that where you can see the big red diamond up
Right here?
up towards the middle of the chart. It's a bigger one.
Oh, here, sorry, this
Yeah.
one, yeah.
Where you can see that,
It's a blood
that's
line.
indicating that you're just about to see a dump, which it did
Mhm.
pretty successfully. If I know on the 1-hour chart, you don't have to change, but on the 1-hour chart, you can see at various points where it's
Let's
saying
go
that
to the
you're gonna
1-hour
have
chart because this is nice to see. 1 second. Here's the 1 hour. I'm just gonna fixate.
And I have to say from experience that market cipher is so strong on those short calls.
yeah,
So you saw this diamond, we dropped from 56 to 52.
yeah. Then we came
We
back
saw
up
a
again.
buy signal here. We went back up. We saw another one, and that's a huge drop, 55 to 47.
Yeah, that
That's
would have
nice.
been a nice short.
Yeah.
Like those calls on market cipher, in my opinion, are what you pay for, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they end up paying for themselves very easily, very quickly.
Just a shout out to everybody listening. We are selling at Crypto Society. We're talking about Market Cipher because we're also selling Market Cipher. And we're offering it at 5% lower than what you can buy it online. So if anybody's interested, just DM one of the admins and TA, and we'll be more than happy to sell you one at 5% lower than the advertised price online. Just a side note.
So you can also see
All right.
further along. Sorry, Relay. You can also
Oh,
see
we'll go
further
back to
along
1
there's
hour?
several more of the diamonds, and each time
Yes.
that diamond comes up, there's been a significant drop.
Are we talking? Yes, here, the blood
Yeah.
diamonds. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Nice. Very nice.
I
Really
suppose the only thing we could be doing then, as a bit of an action, is just keeping an eye out that another one doesn't appear.
Oh yes.
Is it a leading, like, does it appear at the beginning or towards the end of the candle or in the
when-
middle? Have you noticed?
When we had the AMA last Thursday, we dumped
Mhm.
literally as we were starting the AMA, and I remember saying while we were on a voice call that I'd just seen this red blood diamond come up, and we had started dumping. So it's pretty accurate with the timing. It was during the same hour that it was printing it. So
Nice.
I
Oh,
don't know about leading,
I
but
gotta
it's
look-
definitely real time.
I gotta spend more time learning how to use this.
Okay. I think it excels at these things. And if I'm, in the beginning of the bull run or in the beginning of legs up, it's also very strong in printing those big green buys, confidence buys, looking backwards. But I think that they're pretty rare in terms of long calls. I think you need to scroll back quite a lot below to see them. But yeah, let's have a look at. Don't worry about that. Let's have a look at Ethereum.
Did you want me to go back?
No. I was just saying that, in my opinion, it's just stronger on short calls than it is on long calls. But
Yeah.
Its long calls are very good, but they're very rare.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I think so too.
Look at now.
Here's
Sorry.
Ethereum. Yeah, go ahead, guys. Sorry.
I think long call wise, Frank, the way that it can be determined best is by using several different elements of it to get confluence for a long start.
Yeah.
There's no one indicator that I trust on it to say, right, that's the bottom or that's the breakout. It would
I agree.
it would definitely need to be 2 or 3 of them.
Look at Ethereum now.
Very nice.
This is a bullish chart if I've ever seen one.
Look at that.
By any means.
Do you think maybe?
Yeah, I mean,
do you think maybe the fees going down a little bit have helped in the last few days? Because the Uniswap fees, the gas fees, have gone down a little bit. They've made a change on the amount of gas used per block. And
yeah, they take a bit more transactions per block now. But I honestly think that's more psychological than anything.
maybe.
Yeah, if it has, I don't think it's related to fundamentals. Because Ethereum is strong AF, as they say. I think it's just people. Maybe that's just been a bit of a signal, a psychological signal for people to go, there is a future for it, even if this isn't even the solution. Because Berlin wasn't there for that, technically.
I think we're at a local top as we speak.
On Ethereum.
Yeah. Just for now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Ethereum's about to rip.
No,
Personally.
I'm not saying it won't go up more. I'm just saying right now, at the moment, it looks like, here, you'll see what I mean.
Right. Okay, I see.
So we might see just a retrace. Doesn't mean we're going to go down, down, down. We just might see a little retrace here for those scalpers out there. Let's see what Market Cipher says. Just curious. It's 4 hours. So what are these signs? What's a yellow diamond? Is that a continuation?
It is a continuation, yes.
So then technically we should continue up from here.
It looks
We
like
do have an hour and 30 minutes for the candle to close, so it's not necessarily bearish divergence yet, since there's another hour and a half for the candle to close. If we go into a lower time frame, yeah, RSI seems to be okay, but money flow is a bit divergent. It's mixed signals, because you see on a lower time frame, you start to see that. What does that red diamond mean?
It's a bearish indicator. It's the potential to
Okay.
go down a bit. But as you can see
Yeah.
by the chart,
I
it's
think-
not necessarily telling you that it's going to go down majorly. It's just telling you that the
Yeah, just a bit of a that's it. I think there might be a little bit of a retrace here. So tell me, these indicators, like on 1 hour, how I guess like anything else, the higher the time frame, the more reliable, right?
Yeah, definitely. But from my experience, the 1 hour with the blood diamonds seems to have been pretty accurate as well, and given you a nice drop.
Because here it's not a very big drop. But I mean,
I say
and there was
nice
a couple
drop.
here, and this one here.
Yeah, that one there that you just pointed, it was a bit weird though, right on the upswing, like because you're literally in the middle of an uptrend. So even if that blood diamond appears, it's probably not an actual short buy, just to kind of get out or take some profit at least. But when you're below the ribbons and you see the blood diamond, I
Let's
think
see.
is where you.
Bilo, zoom in a little bit more. Stay on the 1 hour, but zoom in a little bit more, so we can see in a bit more detail how big the drops are.
You want to see this one?
Yeah.
%7%.
It's quite a nice drop.
Yeah. I guess we're just wondering about these here. Like this one here is a bit weird.
Yeah, that is.
And then these two here are a bit weird. Let's just see what happens on the 4 hour on the same. Yeah, you see, you don't see those blood diamonds anymore.
So it's definitely more
And
reliable
here,
than the 4 hour.
But look at that blood diamond, yeah, on the 4 hour.
here,
Second one.
That's a nice drop. Look at that.
Jesus Christ. Imagine catching that on the short end.
That's a nice drop. So then, lesson learned, for me at least, 4-hour blood diamond, take it seriously.
Yeah.
Let's see. How much is that? That's 37%. Oof. Oof. Imagine that.
Yeah, that's a pretty big drop.
The important thing is look at the bottom as well, and look at the green calls right on the bottom.
Yeah, here.
Both of them.
Yeah.
There and the next one.
Yeah. And then you see the manipulation here, because it went down, forced back down again, before it went back up.
It's exactly what we just saw on Bitcoin, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
So what everybody refers to as this whipsawing, when price is going down and then it pops back up again to try and catch out those people that are shorting. That's what those yellow X's are. So people are putting shorts because they can see that the price is going down, and then whales will buy back the price to bring it up in order to catch those people out, grab their stop losses, catch the liquidity, and then drop the price back down again. For those people that have thought that they've hit the bottom and then they're going to start going back up again, well, no, we're not. We're actually going to carry on down from
Imagine having that much Bitcoin that you can manipulate the market so much.
No,
I'm happy with mine
does.
beautiful stash. Yeah, Binance probably does, you're right. Along with all the other exchanges.
Frank's favorite chart?
Which one? Hey, come on! I've been tracking that since what was it, last year? Over a year ago, and it's actually one of my charts that I haven't changed much at all.
We hit 49.95 earlier today.
So here's Bitcoin dominance, guys. I'll let Frank take it. Take it, Frank.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's not much to say. Just look at it and enjoy, and make sure you're on the right side of the trade. And I mean, we're not here to tell you we told you so, but this has been a really good unexpected trade for a lot of people. The only thing I would kind of point out here is that we're seeing these RSIs be completely, let's say, oversold. For me, I'm ignoring this completely. Especially if you start looking at previous trends, when it pushed so far down, it still retraces and goes much further down. And we need to remember that even a percent in this means, a percent of Bitcoin's market cap. So you're talking about huge shifts within the markets for this. I actually think we're going to be heading to make a lower low. I think that's the big question on a lot of people's minds. I think it depends on what happens with Ethereum being the main let's say second the apex predator to Bitcoin right now as far as market cap's concerned. But a lot of alts are really going to be growing and siphoning money out of that, and that's not just like Frank talking, so to speak, but I think we're seeing a lot of institutions, a lot of the things I'm reading is that, people, I don't want to say they've missed the train on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is here to stay. But in my opinion, every time I talk about Bitcoin, it's here as a store of value. That's its main, let's say, sell into the outside world, even though if within crypto we know differently. That means that the likes of Ethereum, Polkadot, etc., ADA are seen as much more the stock plays. And the stock plays are much more lucrative than the gold plays. So with that being said, we're currently at 50. We're fighting that 50. Even if we break that, I think we're going to be going very fast down to the 40 range and testing it at the bottom. Yeah. The difficult thing, like I say to a lot of people who ask me for advice, right now we're in the game of, clearly we're in the right side of the trade if we're in altcoins, and I like to think that a lot of us are. The difficulty is what's your price? You know, can you keep it? Can you keep it and not sell it for those lucrative gains that we're going to see? Because I know I'm going to suffer from this purely because I know how the market's going to go, but I'm going to sell too soon at times, and in some cases I'm going to sell too late. But we don't know how much it's going to push. It will push. It will push fast, and it will push very high. And for people who haven't been here in previous bull runs, and to be fair, I was only a spectator in the previous one, so I can't even say from first-hand experience, but I think I'm going to sell too early. It's going to become way too good for me to not sell. And the only reason why I won't be selling is because of how I balance in my portfolio, and I'm staking certain things, and I'm happy with the way it will be. But I think it will be impossible to call the top, is what I'm trying to say, or the bottom in the BTCD scenario.
Just a little reminder for everybody, maybe to just understand that BTCD is just market dominance of Bitcoin calculated by taking the market cap of Bitcoin divided by the total market cap in crypto. So all the crypto projects put together would be the total market cap, and then Bitcoin's market cap would be Bitcoin's market cap. So Bitcoin's market cap divided by the total market cap of all Bitcoin projects gives you BTC dominance. The lower that number goes just means that there's more money in alts than there are in Bitcoin alone. Alts being all the alts from Ethereum all the way to Bilo coin and Bitcoin being Bitcoin. So there's always that debate of the chicken and the egg in terms of, can you chart BTCD? You can chart anything. If enough people believe in it, it'll mean something. So I think there's a lot of people that chart BTCD and make decisions based on it. So for that purpose and for that purpose alone, I think that it could end up meaning something. I personally, but Frank has an opinion on this. Go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, we're not going to fight over this. And actually, I think we're on the same. I think we're on the same page in as much as you can't chart this like a normal chart. Okay, this is a clear ABC move that we're seeing play out. It doesn't mean that A is going to equal C like a normal price action chart will play out in Forex or in crypto. It couldn't, purely because it's a ratio chart. So the way I use it and the way I chart it, so to speak, it's all about momentum. It's not. It's my confluence and confirmation for when I want to buy alts or when I want to get out of alts. That's how I chart it. But by no means can you use traditional, let's say, charting techniques of like price action and all that stuff. It just simply doesn't exist, in my opinion. Maybe there are people who would even argue that, but taking a chart into negative percent simply doesn't even make sense. So I think that's an argument to end that.
I can possibly see a couple of patterns in there.
No.
Yeah, definitely. I could probably share my chart quickly.
There's a
if you don't mind,
double
below.
bottom, a head and shoulders. There's a symmetrical triangle or a ball flag there.
Yeah. Remember that, it's just all of this, no matter what you're looking at, it's just the result of psychology.
Of course.
So, one way, whichever way you cut it. Where are we? See if I can share my screen. I don't know how it works if Bilo's also.
I'm going to stop sharing. I always thought sharing was caring, but I'm going to stop.
Let's zoom out.
Nice.
Right. So I think for people within, my charts look very different, but that's mainly because I've realized that's mainly because I trade on price action. That's why I use so many, let's say, trend lines. Zooming out, this is the bigger picture. This was the line that we knew was going to break, and these boxes here. For anyone within Crypto Society, I believe I started charting around this point. we called this bottom within the group, this rising triangle. I can zoom in up to this resistances, and these were the targets that we had set. This was kind of like my fake out target. We actually went a little higher than that, but ever since we came down here, we ended up creating, if you see this head and shoulders pattern, which was actually this target, which we just met. And then there's another head and shoulders target and another head and shoulders target, because in short, you can see that zooming out, you're seeing these bigger and bigger head and shoulders, which is all the way down to the 40% in this case. So here we're currently, and in my opinion, destroying even this support, even this, let's say, falling support. So I think we're likely going to come down here, maybe go and retest this zone. If I'm to kind of like say what I'm picturing, it would go like this and then down again. And it would be aggressive. It will be probably even more aggressive than my line and the previous history of how quickly the markets move is to show. Now, okay, now this is very arbitrary. I do not mean to make this a target by any means. It was more to show the movement.
What do you think is a reasonable?
Personally, I'll be happy even if we reach this, and I'll be taking some profits along the way here. I think along this point, around the 40%, because by the way, I think we're past 50% right now. You know, this was my target. We touched it. We messed around. But BTCD also doesn't mess around too much, in my opinion, like especially when this momentum's behind it. I think we're already starting to make lower lows, and I think movement down here is going to be very fast. I think this will be the main, the 40% will be the main, let's say, up. And it might be up a lot. And the only reason why it will be up a lot is because Bitcoin will wake up.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we were saying about going back to the BTC chart, it's this time, again, ignore all my beautiful lines, it's this time here that's going to give the alts. The longer this goes on and it doesn't go for the all-time high, the lower we're going to be seeing this go. Whoop. So that's kind of what I meant about using it as a momentum indicator, because obviously you don't trade BTCD, but when I see this BTCD at a critical level, and I see BTC at a point, let's say, you know, fast forward time, and we're at a point, let's say up here, creating some bottoms, looking to make next leg up, that's when I would ease my position in alts, position myself in Bitcoin, and going back to the BTC chart is where I would think if we go back in history, we would see some of these retracements, which are quite strong. That retracement, and then yeah, I mean, there's still free falls from there. So let's not forget, this is just the first leg.
So in other words, Frank, what you're telling people really is, once you reach those lower targets, it's because there's more interest in altcoins, and altcoins are being bought up and their value is going up, hence their market cap. And since the altcoin market cap is getting larger, BTC dominance is getting lower, especially if BTC continues on a sideways kind of price action. And what you're saying is, once we get down to those 40% levels, it's a good time to take profit, because you might see BTC make a move from there. And when BTC normally makes a move, alts tend to go down in price. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly the trading strategy, effectively.
So this is how we want to read BTCD then, guys.
So that's how I use it, actually. So that's probably, you know, it's probably good that we're kind of like I'm kind of throwing my thoughts out here of how I use BTCD, but this is how it's helped me throughout the last year. And clearly it's playing the same way out for the bull run. So I will be expecting these retracements. And just to add an extra point to your point of what you said of taking profits from alts, we clearly need to state that we're taking profits from alts into BTCD, not into USDT. Because it doesn't mean that when BTCD comes here and bounces up, that actually alts may suffer in USD dollar terms. That's by no means the
Yeah,
case.
they
But
suffer against Bitcoin. Yeah.
correct. It will correct again against Bitcoin.
So it's a good time to accumulate sats.
And for perfect, exactly. So now is our accumulating sats in a way, right? Where Bitcoin is boring. The psychology of the trader is this: Bitcoin is not giving us the volatility and the returns. So whilst it's not doing these huge pushes for all-time highs, etc., people, investors seek gains elsewhere.
I wonder how much all the ICOs that we're seeing come out have, how much weight they have. Because if you see a lot of people investing in ICOs, and these ICOs are doing 100x overnight, that must also be affecting BTCD, right?
I suppose the answer is yes. Every alt adds to that. The only point would be is that they start with a fraction of coins, right? So the market caps wouldn't actually count as a lot. You know, any new ICO coin might start with a market cap between 1 and 10 million. So in the grand scheme of things, maybe.
I guess my point was that if the overall market cap was a constant and there was no more coins being added to the market, it would be easier to measure BTCD as a linear function versus a more of a formula, because you have new alts being added every day. So technically, BTCD going down is not just a function of Bitcoin being, let's say, purchased less, but it's also a function of more coins being added to the market, right?
Exactly, yeah. It's a result of that, yeah. Of a sum of all that.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another interesting one that I've started toying with. I mean, for a while again, over a year. But it's something that, again, I use for my Ethereum stash and trades.
Frank, just a question somebody in the audience wanted to know: how much Ethereum stash are we talking about?
Is that Lewis asking?
No, somebody in the audience. It's a question from the audience.
I mean, I could hold my node comfortably and then some.
How many?
It's a number. It's X.
Is it XXX or XX?
Just so everybody knows, Frank just bought an island, just so everybody knows.
I feel like, though I did buy a house.
Some call it house, some call it island. It's okay.
Oh, I am buying a house, shall I say? But that's just that's thanks to actually all the work that we've been doing this last year. Because I know a lot of people had probably quite a painful August, September, October, almost like full season.
Yeah.
You know, this is a very obvious extreme hold that even I had from around September downwards.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was a painful chart for anyone to hold. CRO, though, recovered very strongly, and I believe it still has quite a way to go.
How's it recovering now?
A lot of alts obviously went through that during that time. But you know, this is where I hate to use the term, you know, smart money and all that stuff. But these painful times, anytime you feel pain, in my mind, is the time where I know I should be buying, even if I'm not consciously doing it. And this is where really, I don't want to say smart money, but good money is being spent. Here you can buy, and to be honest, I'm still buying Ethereum. I'm still buying Ethereum confidently. But it's not as well spent as it would have been back here. That's the point I'm trying to make. But more importantly, another... Yeah, oh, sorry.
No, go on, carry on. Sorry, I thought you were stopping.
No, the only other thing I would say between the relationship of BTCD, Ethereum dominance, or Ethereum is this trend that we are seeing with ETH BTC. I'm not very familiar with this and how it moves. I'm just starting to study it more as the movement, the price action is taking me there. You know, we just made a higher high. So I'm starting to all of a sudden zoom out and look back at what happened last year when higher highs were being made. It gives me hope. I think a lot of people are changing that their perspective, into this. And if I'm just to quickly draw another dirty quick line, it would be this thing that I'm seeing, that I believe a lot of people are expecting to break upwards. Also with the higher high that was just made. So of course there may be some retracements, would make sense, but I think people are expecting some big moves upwards here. Full disclosure, I don't hold any Bitcoin. Anyone who's asked me about buying Bitcoin throughout this whole period, I've always said, you're better off buying Ethereum. You're better off buying Ethereum. And I still hold my stance, and especially now with a higher high, I believe, I don't know where the target will be. I haven't done the work on it. I can't imagine it going for higher highs, but I don't see why not. I actually believe, going back to what I was saying about Bitcoin and its use case, and Ethereum and the other altcoins and their use case, I believe we would be seeing a flippening just in a matter of time. And for that matter, we're in a perfect point of talking about a flippening when we're talking about alts. Okay, Bitcoin is currently on the brink of being flipped by the rest of the altcoin market in whole. I know that's in whole, it's one against many, however it is happening slowly. And I believe with that same philosophy and mentality, it will continue happening despite Bitcoin growing. That's my monologue, guys. I haven't written anything else.
I'd like to get your viewpoint on a couple of things, actually, Frank. Then UFT. Do you want to take a look at UFT?
UFT.
It's not been on Binance that long, but you can chart it from the Binance one.
Against BUSD, I suppose. Ooh.
Yeah, it's not very old on Binance. What you were saying about the smart money.
Uh-huh.
Do you think, obviously it was on Uniswap before it was on Binance, but do you think that the smart money is perhaps accumulating UFT now?
Well, two things. I would say it's still not a buy technically for me, mainly because of this.
Okay.
Okay, you can start being a little bit more aggressive here. Yeah. I mean, maybe you can accumulate, right? I don't know anything about the coin. I don't know anything about this fundamental.
Unilend.
It seems low right now. But what I would do is I would say maybe this is accumulation point, clearly completely oversold.
Yeah.
So this would have been a great accumulation point from a technical perspective. But when I start thinking about being bullish, not yet.
Yeah.
We could easily come back here, do another leg down. If it comes here and we can break through it, almost definitely after such a downturn, you would see a retest as well.
Yep.
So buy a little bit on the breakout if you feel like it's really going to run away from you with what we're seeing from BTCD. But definitely on the retest would be your, oops, this is drawing something that I didn't mean to draw. But yeah, definitely on the retest will be where I would confirm a more bullish view on it.
The reason why I'm asking is because at this point in the market, I'm kind of looking around for coins that have maybe not already been on a 5x, 10x tear, because they're few and far between unless they're new. So potentially they've still got a lot of room to grow. This, by the way, it's a project called Unilend. It's a project that Elio Trades recommended. I can't remember when, a little while back.
Right.
Yeah, good to get your perspective.
Yeah, well, technically, this is what I would say. This would have been technically a good accumulation, purely, even if it's a risky buy. This is a falling knife, right? Yeah. But if you knew something about the project and you weren't in, clearly this was, in hindsight, always easier. But I would assume that it's going to play out a little bit like that. It will get resistance above here. So this will be a crux. Yeah. Even if it's getting momentum, if it can break over that and it comes down, test that, or even test a lower one, I think that's when you can actually go in with confidence. But a good one to keep an eye out on, that's for sure. And I completely get what you mean about, when you look at other coins out there, it's easy to think that, maybe we did miss the train, right? This,
Just
and this is just a random one that I just clicked on. But I think
so that
there's
Martini
definitely
guy,
always different.
sorry, that Martini
Sorry.
guy was shilling Elron Gold when it was $9. I was watching his show and he was saying you need to get in on Elron Gold, and it was $9 at the time.
What's that down here?
Yeah,
That's not
that would have been a clever buy.
clearly.
It does seem to be
Yeah,
very
Jesus
susceptible to Bitcoin's movements, though. So every time Bitcoin has a bit of a moment, this drops a lot. So it's clearly not a project that people hold in that high regard that they will hold on to it no matter what. They obviously sell off as one of their less important coins if they're going to sell things off.
Yeah, I haven't followed it closely. I know actually my dad bought some of this and sold quite well. He's happy, but at the end of the day, actually right now where we are and where I am with alts, we see what's happening with BTCD. We saw this beautiful retracement, kind of like retesting some of these previous things, coming here, retesting it. I'm currently zooming out on weeklies on practically everything. Go an ocean. I'm not going to pull the Fibonacci, beautiful retracement. I think what I'm looking for is a weekly close ultimately above the previous body close. So for Ocean's case, it would be here at this 1.43. For FED, it would be exactly where we are, right? If we can close the week even, and I think we still have a lot more to go. I know they announced some great stuff. This is what I'm looking for, an engulfing closure on the weekly on most coins, so I can start gaining more confidence into the positions looking on the upside.
That FET chart, that's quite a nice looking chart because that really took a hit when Bitcoin had a moment, didn't it? Recently.
Yeah, it did. Also, they had their mainnet. There was kind of a lot of sell the news and all that kind of stuff going on. You can see my box up here. This is not my dream zone. I think this is a nice kind of like time. I'm trying to mess with a little bit of understanding the time spans.
Yep.
Using Fibonacci's on the what I mean by that is using Fib time zones. Yep. Right, so you can do that with retracements, so you can actually get the movements. Mainly getting my information from the previous run that we did.
Right, can you explain to us Fib time zones, please?
Just quickly, because I also don't have too much time below. But in short, it's exactly like it works exactly like a Fib retracement or a Fib extension. But on the lateral side, as opposed to the longitude, as opposed to the other way around. So you can create a time zone, and as such, you can effectively, if I try to make it relevant, as opposed to just drawing it on the chart, is, you may get the beginning of a move to the end of the move. I should be using the extension in this case. So I may get from the bottom to the top, okay? At a very basic example, from the bottom to the top, it will start printing the different Fibonacci extensions. You see what it's doing below?
Yeah.
And of course, you can go in and tailor the chart and create your 618s, etc. And you can do the same thing exactly like we normally do on the horizontal scale, on this kind of scale, but with the time. So I'm trying to mess. By no means am I saying it's going to be here by the next 2-3 months. But when I zoom out, like I said, I'm zooming out more on the weekly at these stages. We created, look at this beautiful bull flag. In my opinion, now we're looking to close, like I said, above that body, which also means a breakout of that daily downwards trend line. If that happens, should that be the target or not? That's something we can look at closer, but a breakout from here is really the next entry point if you weren't already in.
So then if you take a Fibonacci from the bottom to the top, where are we? Where was the bottom of this bull flag?
At the bottom of this bull flag from here, technically would be from right the bottom, right? Yeah, it should be from here. And it was, well, guess what? We're in crypto.
Beautiful.
It's almost like someone designed this thing. You know,
bring it a bit lower so it's actually more perfect. Bring it a bit lower at the bottom from the one level.
Yeah, to this point. I mean, you can even go. You know, I sold some. You know, I didn't swing all my bag because I'm staking a lot of it. I have faith in the coin, but I think when you know this is a daily chart. Tell me this is an bull flag.
That's beautiful.
All we're waiting for, I can't call an entry, especially after this. I think it did me a nice 60% move in the last couple of days.
Look at those two green candles.
Yeah, 70% in 2 days with two good volumes. All I want to see now is a breakout of that horizontal that I've got here, which is also the 382, as we can see from this. But more importantly for me, this downward trend line and that horizontal trend line. That's what I'm looking. And then we can go.
Very nice.
And I think we're gonna be, like I told you below, comparing it to this, I think we're in a big 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just think that this may be the top of the 3 if I use Elliott wave theory. So here will be some nice intermediary profit taking. You know, buy a kitchen or whatever, and then at the top we can splash out.
Higher.
Yeah, then we can go into real weekly and monthly candles. But I don't know what that will be like.
Island just like you.
Sorry?
I want to buy an island just like you. Hey, Mark is number 1.
So there you have it, guys. Like that's me. But I do have to shoot now.
Frank, always a pleasure having you with us.
Thanks for making the time and sorry, yeah, pleasure. All the best.
Frank Hartford, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, Pumpeye, take it away.
Yeah, you'll have to bear with me for 2 seconds. I've just realised that my screen isn't actually completely aligned.
That's one thing I can do is bear.
Indeed, you can. Sorry, bear with me a sec, guys. My screen, for some reason, isn't completely aligned.
Would you like me to share my screen while you...
Yeah, probably a good idea. Go for it.
Okay. So let me know when you're ready and we'll switch back to yours.
Sure. So someone asked, or Daniel Schwartz asked, do we know the coin VRX?
VRX. I don't know the coin, but we can certainly take a look at it. Do you want to take a look at it? Tell me when you're ready.
I've also been asked to TA KSM, so I was going to have a look at it.
It's right here.
Oh, okay.
So tell me when you're ready to share your chart, and I'll stop my feed. Sure. KSM broke down below this rising support. So we need to get above this rising support to regain that bullish momentum. And if we do some Fibonacci's from the last wave to see where we are currently testing 618. So it's a very normal retrace from the 618 region. We will most likely see some consolidation here before we move back up. If I look at the 4-hour chart on Usama, one of my favorite coins, this is a very important support zone that we see highlighted in green. We made it above that support zone, which could have been a resistance once you're below it, which is now a support again. So hopefully we'll see some consolidation here before we make it back up. There will be significant resistance where this red box is, and then hopefully we'll continue on our ride to 1K Kusama. Expect chaos.
Do you see any kind of patterns going on within the 4 hour or the daily for KSM right now?
If I look at the 4 hour and I just connect some dots just for fun, I kind of see this, but it's nothing to write home about. So we'll just erase it. What I do see, like I said, is a retracement from here to here is retesting 618, coming back down. I'm not surprised at all. Typically, what we would expect to see is something that looks like this. So we go down, we go back up. We don't make it past 618. We go back down a little bit into our support. And then hopefully on the second or third try, we make it back up here. We retrace again, and then go back and either make it above or come back down a bit. But this is typically the path I expect for Kusama. And it makes sense because you see there's a nice head and shoulders being created, which eventually, once we break out of, we will end up with a very nice new target of approximately $700. So this is where I would expect Kusama to go in the near future. And by near future, I don't mean in the next 2 days. I mean in the next few weeks, if Bitcoin continues to be stable. I would not be surprised at all to see $700 for Kusama. But I'll let you take it from here, Pumpy, if you're ready.
Not quite, nearly.
No? Okay, you let me know. But this is what I would see for Kusama. And it's not so far-fetched. I mean, we reached 564, so 700 is not so far-fetched. And it's the target of what we are creating here as an inverse head and shoulder off of this very obvious resistance area. You know what? While we wait, I'd like to take a look at Cardano. Cardano had some news today. Just gonna find the right chart. USDT. Here we go. Is it added? Yeah. So looking at Cardano. So a lot of very bullish movements, but then they always kind of just fail. Doesn't really go anywhere. What we can see looking at the chart is this kind of area of opportunity, selling, buying, selling, buying, selling, buying, maybe selling again, buying again.
It's almost like a bear market, isn't it?
It's like a consolidation of Cardano. There's a lot of news with Cardano. There's quite a few things. I don't recall at the moment exactly, but I read something today about some new developments with Cardano. I mean, Cardano is going to be huge. There's no doubt. It's a work in progress, and it's going to be quite competitive as a blockchain. So I'm sure we'll see great things from Cardano. And if you look at the run up, I mean, wow. We're just on a 4 hour, but just to zoom out and look at, let's say, the weekly, I mean, look at this. Look at this chart. It's just crazy. So just September, it was 10 cents, under 10 cents. And we went to $1.50. It's huge.
I remember that quite well.
Yeah. So, yeah. Little inside joke.
Love you, Bilo.
So Cardano's in a consolidation phase. We're gonna see it consolidate a little bit more. If we see BTCD go down and alt start to go up, I really hope we break out of this rectangle and we start to make new highs. I mean, $2 is just within reach. It's not so far-fetched again. Just a sideways movement right now that we just got to break out of. But chart is looking quite bullish. I mean, if you look at the daily and you just compare peaks and look for divergences. I mean, there's zero, zero, zero uh, signs of weakness. It's very typical charts. In fact, um, there's a very clear bullish divergence that we see right here. So it's playing out already as we speak. We are going up. There's nothing to stop this from continuing. There's plenty of room for RSI and money flow to continue up above the all-time high of $1.55. Not necessarily, I don't know if it's all-time high, but the recent all-time high. I don't know what it made it to before the 2018 bull run, 2017, 2018 bull run, but there's certainly room to grow.
It's interesting. There was a lot of videos that were put out by BitBoy and various other people around about the area where you can see that this has grown so rapidly. There was so much marketing going on, not by Cardano themselves, but by other people.
Everybody else, yeah.
Yeah, and it's grown huge. And I'm just wondering whether that's enough to keep it going up, or whether they actually need to have a product out there that's really making waves, because I think you can probably only go so far, can't you?
Yeah, they're working on that product, and I'm just trying to remember what I read today in terms of news. There was something today. Hold on, let me just see. Cardano. There was some news about it today.
So I think what people need to think about is that these consolidation phases, they are probably good times to maybe, if you want to swing trade your bags, then maybe to look for where the peaks might happen and to trade out of them at those points, and buy back lower or buy on breakouts, not necessarily hold on to it up and down, up and down, up and down. I know that's the hodling mentality, and quite often hodlers are the winners over traders, but I think that also depends on whether you know what you're doing and what you're looking for, as much as the ability to just hold through it all. So with Cardano at the moment, unless you see a breakout past the points of resistance, then you could probably quite comfortably sell when it's around 140, 145.
Yeah, based on the consolidation.
Yeah.
But like I said, this to me looks like an ABC,
That's
and this would have been the last wave. This is let me just draw this so it's clear. To me, this is a very nice A, B, C, and this here would be Elliott wave 1, 2, oops, it's black. I just got to change the.
That's Baldwin in his white charts.
Yeah. My default drawing. Let's see if that works. Let's see. Yeah, that kind of works. So 1, 2, 3, 4, hopefully 5 breaking out of the box. And if we look at the Fibonacci extension, a perfect extension 1, 2, 3 is 1.618. Let's just see where that lands. Look at that. It's pretty close to the top. So let's say we drew the box that way. Let's see how many points we hit to see if it makes any sense. Oops. Yeah, look at that. It's exactly this top here and this top here.
Yep.
So this, to me, is a very plausible scenario of what can happen with Cardano. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then hopefully break out and you know, test this resistance here or make it past. Are you ready with your charts, Pumpy?
Yeah, we can do.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna stop sharing.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So
Sorry.
here we've got VRX. I haven't actually done any. I haven't drawn any lines or anything yet. I'm just going to share this screen to you as well, Bilo, so that you can.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. So you should be able to see my screen now.
Yeah, I do.
Cool. This is VRX. What do you see in this, Bilo? Because that's a major pump that we've seen here recently. This is the daily chart, by the way.
Let me see. Just zoom out a little bit and show me some MFI and RSI if you don't mind.
Sure.
MFI, yeah. No, yep. Okay, and we're looking at a daily.
Yeah, that's the daily.
Okay, so I would maybe switch to a lower time frame because the daily is a good 5 hours away from close, so it's hard to judge that candle without seeing it close. So maybe go to the 4 hour. Okay. Oh, nice. Very nice. Definitely, I would say we're continuing up from here. Because look at the last peak. Look at the last peak.
Yep.
There's still room for growth in MFI and RSI. There's no bearish divergences.
No, there's not.
I don't see any bearish divergences. And then if you want to even take it further, go around the $460 level and draw a horizontal line.
$460, you say?
Around, yeah. Yeah, more or less. And
Close enough.
what's the target of the inverse head and shoulders?
It would be...
Yeah, I think we're about to make a new high.
I actually don't know on...
Oh, sorry. Bring it to the neckline. Bring the bottom to the neckline.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know on this charting system how to change it off the automatic.
Oh, okay. You don't have magnet on. Just move it to the neckline. Yeah, that's all. That's it. So the new target would be about $540.
Yeah, 540, 545.
That would be my target. So I would basically say I would put it at 530 to 540 is the target, more or less.
Yep.
So whoever asked the
deal
question,
of volume though on these.
yeah, it's very low volume, and typically low volume with an increase in price ends up being bearish divergence. But so far, we don't see that bearish divergence. It does not show up on the charts.
But then saying that, actually, if it's not that old a coin, then maybe there isn't that higher volume regardless.
Yeah, but you do see those. You see quite a bit of
You do see spikes.
bigger candles.
Yeah.
What exchange? Maybe it's the exchange you're on also.
on
What
Uniswap.
oh, this is Uniswap. Oh, that's why. I don't like charting Uniswap. Is this
No.
on exchange by any chance?
Sorry?
Is this on any exchange? Let me just check on Gecko. VRX. Just want to see if it's on an exchange or not. VRX. Guys, whoever's listening, whenever you want to check a coin, especially if you want to buy that coin, always go on CoinGecko and make sure you have the right contract address. It's pretty reliable on CoinGecko. You should avoid. Okay, so there isn't any other. There's very low volume on Uniswap. There's $118,000 volume. The real volume is on CoinTiger, which I've never heard of. And then there's BLXC, but it's an ETH. There's like $500 of $118,000 of volume on Uniswap. So it's a tough one to chart, but this is based on the chart. This is what we could see. If you go to a lower time frame, you'll probably see a lot of gaps. Go to like a 15-30 minute time frame, you probably see a lot of gaps in the chart. Yeah, see?
Yeah, that's normally low liquidity as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, there's not a lot of trading happening on Uniswap. So when that happens, usually whoever it is that asks for the coin on Uniswap, you might have a high price impact, which means that somebody buying the coin could impact the price a lot, and somebody selling the coin could impact the price a lot. So I would be careful trading it on Uniswap. Yeah. Any other requests or anything else you want to look at, Pumpy, yourself?
You know what? No, not right in a second, because it seems to be quite involved that I'm changing over the screens, because we went to Uniswap rather than using TradingView. If I flick back over to you, then I'll stop sharing.
Okay, well, I mean, I think we're good. We don't have many attendance, a lot of attendance today, so I don't see anybody asking for any coins, unless I'm wrong.
Okay, mate. Well, I'm happy with today's session. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much to Frank from earlier.
There are some questions. There's Solana still run?
Sorry, say that again.
Solano. Somebody's asking, David is asking if Solano will still run. I'm guessing he means Solana, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Do you want to share your screen again and have a look?
Yeah, sure. So I'm a very big fan of Solana. Crypto Society is a big fan of Solana in general. In fact, our FA department is coming up with an FA report, a fundamental analysis report, very shortly on Solana. So Solana is one of the fastest, if not currently the fastest blockchains, capable of processing speeds that are unparalleled, as far as I know. And there's a lot of new projects building on Solana as we speak. There was the Polka hype, where everything Polka was mooning. Well, now there's the Sol hype, where anything built on Solana is also mooning. Looking at the chart for Solana, not long ago, it was at around $3-4. And I'm just waiting for the chart to fix itself.
See, that's the thing, is I would love to get into Solana, but it's got to the point now where I'm thinking, that's a little bit on the late side when it's already done the 10x.
Look at this. Just January this year, it was $1.50. So it's 40x from January this year. Well, 30x, let's say, which is just amazing. Just amazing. And it's like so little retracement, so much hype with Solana because there's a lot of projects building on it as we speak. One thing I could look at when I see the chart, one thing I see is, and it's very obvious, is this tweezer top here. Tweezer tops are very strong signals to sell, especially when the candle and it's a daily closes. It's a good time to sell, and if you sold, and you could rebuy at a lower price. But as RSI starts to reset itself, and you could see very easily why we printed a double top, not a double top, but a tweezer top. But I mean, look at this. Look at the divergences. If you compare the previous high to this high on RSI, you actually made a, you actually made a low. Oh, this is not working very well. Delete. Okay, here we go. We made a lower. Is it lower? Nah. Yeah, kind of. It's flat. It's a bit lower. So this is classic bearish divergence. And you look at money flow, which I put a bit more weight on, and it's definitely bearish divergence.
Yeah, you can definitely see it a lot more on the MFI, can't you?
So this is where we kind of have a confluence where we've printed this tweezer top, which ended up in some reduction in price. But now, if we zoom in and we start looking at the 4 hours, well, on the 4 hours, we're starting to look bullish, because if we call somewheres around here, let's say we use this one as the previous low, and we draw our a line to connect this previous low to the current low, even though the candle has not closed, and we compare it on the RSI, we could see that we have some bullish divergence. we still do not see that bullish divergence appear on money flow. So I wouldn't conclude that it's over. If both showed me bullish divergence, I'd be buying in right now at this price, even though it seems high, but it's actually not that high. And I was showing somebody today, somebody asked me the question today, how high do you think Solana can go? And I gave them a comparison between Solana and, let's say, Ethereum. So if you look at Ethereum, and I'm just trying to find what I sent this person, nice guy. Where is it now? Can't find it. Damn it. Sorry, guys. 1 second. I'm just trying to find what I said. Oh boy. I think it was today.
It was today.
It was today.
I remember you telling me about it.
Oh, I did tell you. Yeah. Oh, here it is. Okay. So Ethereum today, and I don't think I can count that high, but Ethereum today has a market cap of $296 billion. And Solana today has a market cap of $12 billion. So if we take the total coin supply of Solana, which is 488 million coins, and we take the price of Ethereum today, or the market cap of Ethereum, and we divide it by 2. Let's just say that Solana will make it to 50% of Ethereum's market cap. We have a target of at least $300 for Solana. So think about this. It's $42 now. I'm saying, and I think many people will say, and some will say even higher, my target for Solana is at least $300. So even at $42, it's not that expensive, given what it does and how fast it does it. Given all the projects that are going to be building on it, I would not be surprised one little bit to see Solana at $300. And Solana is its own blockchain. Like I said, speeds that at least so far have not been competed against. Aside from one project that Crypto Society has showed to everybody called XPLL, which will be faster, Solana is the fastest. XPLL is something everybody should be looking into, by the way. And if anybody's interested, just reach out to one of our admins, as we have access to the private sale. So that's Solana for you. Yeah, I expect we'll go down a little bit more. We would want to find some support at around the 55 EMA as a worst case scenario, which brings us to $38. This would be a beautiful bounce off of the 55 AMA. But I don't think we'll go that low. I think Bitcoin consolidating will get us to bounce off of somewhere in this region here.
Where are we if you draw a fib from the bottom to the top of this recent?
About $39-40. If we draw a fib from the bottom to the top, from here, you mean?
I meant for the recent pump.
Okay.
But it's up to you, obviously.
From here. If we draw it from here, we're testing 382.
Yeah, I thought
I really think we'll go down to somewhere around $40. I think we'll test 50%, personally. And you know what? It kind of, with time, will coincide with the 50 EMA, 55 EMA, as the 55 EMA goes up, as this consolidates a little bit more. I don't think we'll go lower than $40 before we continue back up. Of course, it could continue back. Sorry.
So in your opinion, do you feel that Solana will be a good buy for the average crypto investor at $40?
I think long-term hold, Solana will be a great buy. For me, it's a long-term hold. You know, just like KSM, I don't sell KSM. I'm nervous to trade KSM because it's such a great project. It's such a great coin. I traded it once and I ended up making one extra KSM, and I was so nervous because I just don't want to lose any KSMs.
And ladies and
And I feel
gentlemen,
this-
that is a seasoned trader that's telling you that he was nervous trading this project because he didn't want to lose them because of the long-term value.
Yeah, because there's so much behind the project that I don't care how good you are in TA. The fundamentals beat TA sometimes, and
They
you
do.
know what? A lot of times, I have to be
We
honest.
didn't say that, fundamental analysis team, but they do. The news
I had a
will
little-
shift markets much quicker than any kind of TA will.
Yeah. I mean, just look at this, okay? Look at the line I just drew, okay? It's just 2 points. It's not that strong. It's a weak line. It's not that big of a support, but it just coincides with that 50% I'm telling you about, and also coincides with what will be the 55 EMA.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll go much lower than this, unless Bitcoin takes a big dump. I don't see it right now, but it might. You never know. It is Bitcoin.
Yeah, it might do. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. That's Solana. I love Solana, guys.
What's
It's you will all get to see a report, a very nice report that's being put out by our FA department very soon. It's going to be a very nice report.
So outside of Solana itself then, with the hype that it's been generating and the fact that there's a lot more projects that are starting to release on Solana, like we saw with the Polkadot, do you think maybe an idea would be for people to start looking for different projects on Solana to get into?
Absolutely. You know, like we had the Polka hype. Now we're getting into some FA. Not my strong point, but I do know a little bit. Polka at one point was, I mean, you buy anything with the word Polka on it, you were going to make money. We're there with Solana right now. You buy anything with Solana on it right now, you'll make money. There's the Solana hype. That's what's happening. A lot of new projects coming up building on Solana, and they're doing these instant 100x's. It's just insane. It's insane.
Yes, please.
But there's a lot of hype around Solana. A lot of hype.
What's the market cap of KSM? Do you know?
I could tell you right now. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So for anybody wishing to research a little bit on market cap and how much coin is worth and where you can buy that coin, CoinGecko is, at least for me, my go-to place. So you go to the search section and we're looking for Kusama. So type in Kusama, and of course it doesn't show up. So we'll type in KSM, and here it is. So Kusama is currently number 44 on the market cap. First being Bitcoin. So what do we see? We see the website,
Yes.
Medium articles, how you can, the explorers for KSM. If you want to see, for Ethereum, it's what do you call that? Etherscan. For Kusama, it's Polkascan, Subscan, Twitter, and so on. And up here, you see this information. Market cap, it's $3 billion. Trading volume is $297 million in the past 24 hours, and this is across all exchanges. You have a circulating supply of 8.9 million with a total supply of 10 million. So there's just a little bit of Kusama left before there's going to be a maximum supply of 10 million reached, which is also an excellent sign.
That's very positive for traders.
It is very positive. Look at this, guys. 1 year gains 8,800%. It's just crazy. 8,800%. Where do you hear about these kind of figures? I mean, I know people in stocks and bonds and I don't know what. I mean, they're
Binance
happy to
Smart
make
Chain,
just insane.
meme coins. That's where you hear about it.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, those are such gambles.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, such gambles.
Oh wow! So, looking at the all-time low, January the 14th last year, Kusama was 87 cents.
Well, you don't need to go that far. I mean, look at where is it? Well, okay, you're looking here. You mean? Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. You're right.
So we've got a 445x
Yeah, it's insane.
that
It's
Kusama has
insane.
done, and that's not even at the peak because obviously it's
Not
dropped
at
a
the
fair
peak.
bit
Yeah,
since the peak.
it reached $541. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So yeah, so you would come on CoinGecko, you have all this information here: circulating supply, total supply, maximum supply, market cap, and then here the all-time high, all-time low,
So
and where you can trade it: crypto.com, Huobi, Binance. And something that's important is this trust score, which you'll see on other coins. In this case, you have a trust score everywhere because it's a significant coin. But sometimes the trust score will be yellow, which means that there's not a lot of volume and there's not a lot of trading happening. And these are exchanges you want to avoid for different coins that you're trading, because you'll end up having a very high price impact, which leads to very large spikes in price change if somebody buys or sells, and that's due to low liquidity. You get a little bit of an explanation here about the Kusama coin, what it's all about. Yeah, that's
here, look, if you
pretty
look
much.
if you look at the chart on there, Bilo, what we can hope for is that this this chart that you see in front of you, that maybe that is wave 1 of the Elliott wave.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? It's exactly that, right? Because now let's go back to the chart, and I think we've done this before, but just for fun, we'll just do it again. So Elliott waves. Oops, that doesn't matter. That's fine. So Elliott waves. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What happened here? Something happened. We'll do that again. So Elliott waves: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Typical Elliott waves, followed by a correction, ABC. So A, B, C. That's your typical market structure at any given time. Waves 1, 3, and 5 are leading waves. Waves A and C are leading waves. And wave B, wave 4, and wave 2 are corrective waves. And corrective waves have a 3-wave structure, so it's always A, B, C. And the leading waves is always a 5-wave structure: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what Pumpeye is saying is, you could see at any given time a coin do something like this. And what you're really seeing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then inside 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then inside this small one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But essentially, all this could be just wave 1. And all this could be just wave 2. And so on. So it's a cycle of a cycle of a cycle of a cycle. That's why when you're looking at Elliott waves and you chart Elliott waves, you have the option in here to oops, that's the arrow, sorry. You have the option in here to pick what degree you're in. So you have all the way from super millennium all the way down to minuscule. So you can see you change the numbering sequence so you know what you're looking at, whether you're in a larger wave, of a smaller wave, or a subwave, of a subwave, of a subwave. I mean, it's just endless. And there's those that swear by Elliott wave, and there's those that swear at Elliott wave because they think it's not, it's just bullshit. I think that if enough people, and I've said this before, if enough people use it, it means something. And it's not magic. It's just that if enough people believe that that's how it should work, then they'll trade accordingly, and it'll be a self-fulfilling prophecy if enough people do it. So you know what? If enough people use it, trust in it. And use it as part of your confluence check when you make a trade or want to get in or get out of a trade. Yeah, so we went off topic. We were just talking about Solana, and then we kind of went off topic. But was there anything else?
No,
Let me
that's all right.
see.
It was just I just noticed the chart in the KSM on CoinGecko that it could be a relatively obvious wave 1. So in theory, only in theory, no financial advice. If that was wave 1 and we've just seen wave 2 as the corrective coming down, then we've got wave 3 next. And wave 3 is said to never be the shortest wave, So
That's right. Wave 3 is never the shortest wave. Never the
it's
shortest.
either going to be longer than this first wave, which means it's going a lot higher potentially, or it's going to be longer than wave 5. But either way, I think you can probably safely say you're going to see some explosive price action from Kusama.
I think so too. Let me just go back to Kusama.
That will please Nicole no end.
Yeah.
She's going to be on about 9,000x by the end of the bull run. Let's hope she sells at that point.
I don't think she will.
No, I don't think she will either. And then she'll watch it ride down to back down to 45 cents, and she'll say,
"No, don't say that. Don't say that."
What is this crypto? It's a scam.
So I'm just trying to see if there's any other requests. I don't see any other requests. Do you?
Let me see. Oh, Dave Towns. Pundix. I don't think you'll find that one anywhere other than
Ashraf. 4K again. 1 BTC 4K again.
Oh, that would be a dream, wouldn't it?
We can make it happen.
potentially.
We'll talk to you later. We'll tell them how to do it after. All right. So I think that'll be the close of today's live TA session. Just want to thank everybody for joining us, and just remind you, Crypto Society, we are building a community of education, trust, fun. We like to laugh and have some fun. We're working on some educational videos. These live TA sessions are, in essence, a little bit of education as well, but we'll be putting out some educational videos. We're also working on releasing very shortly some VIP services with very special FA analysis of different coins and reports, as well as some insights into new trends and new technologies in crypto, including new projects that maybe you haven't heard of. We'll be announcing the VIP benefits and terms and conditions shortly to everybody that's in our chat. We're also working very hard on finalizing a website to make all our services and all our information, educational or not, available to everybody at the click of a button. Please follow us on Twitter, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Medium. We have a lot of very educational materials, how to create wallets, how to stake, information about new projects. Support us by joining and by following and liking and retweeting and so on. I'll leave the last word to Pumpeye. Thank you guys for joining us.
Actually, Bilo, before you go, Dave Townsend just said that Pundix is on Binance, so you might well be able to find it on TradingView without any hassle.
Yeah. Pundix, P-U-N?
P-U-N-D-I-X.
Here it is. Let's take a look. Wow.
I can see why you bought that, David.
Yo. It's very hard to TA new coins. This,
because of that.
yeah.
I think
this
you've
is
just
a
got to
charge.
rule that out, to be honest.
Yeah. Let's see what happens if we zoom in and just take a look at this. Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one. You picked a tough one, buddy.
But it seems to have broken up through that resistance line, though. There's a sort of semi-obvious resistance line as it's going down.
But I mean, not a lot of data to make this resistance line into something as significant as it may be. Usually, I mean, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, from the 17th of April. It's a tough one. It's a tough one to. I mean, if you really wanted to TA it and just kind of just maybe just for fun, maybe there's a head and shoulders there, an inverse head and shoulders. Where are the triangles? Here. So you could maybe see an inverse head and shoulders. But yeah, it's I have a hard time charting new coins. I don't feel that confidence level. But theoretically, if we see Pundix, whatever Pundix is, kind of do something like this, and then break out, the technical target would be the bottom, the vertex of the head from the neckline, and it will target the $5.60 range. But like I said, I wouldn't. I mean, I personally would not, not knowing anything about Pundix. Don't take this as financial advice, but textbook head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, that would be the pattern, and this would be the target.
Okay, so Dave says that it's not new. They redenominated it.
Oh, okay. So then, I mean, if we can take that chart into its face value, then this is what I would say right now. There's no obvious anything. There's no bullish, there's no bearish divergence. If I look at the 4-hour chart, just kind of see what, if anything, we can see. Sorry, bear with me.
I like that. Bear with you.
Yeah, look, there's good things going for it. There's a nice RSI support, MFI support, as well as RSI support. Let me just draw it properly. So there's nothing that points to something bad happening, that's for sure. So if we were to take it at face value, we should see something like this. And if this head and shoulder, inverse head and shoulder completes, it should target somewhere about $5.50. And if we draw a Fibonacci from this wave to the top, we could probably see it testing somewhere around 618, let's say. Might go to 2.7, go back up, get rejected, come back down, go back up. But ultimately, if you wanted to take the technical target of this inverse head and shoulders, we're targeting somewhere around $5.40. I hope that helps.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Closing words, Mr. Pumpeye.
Thank you very much for joining us this evening. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, then please do. We do endeavour to make these a little bit more regular, and we'll develop them as time goes on. We've got a good few FA guys as well, so we might make it a session where we've got FA as well as TA, if there's no squabbles. And please follow us on Facebook and also on Twitter, where we are relatively active. And as Bilo said, make sure to keep your ears out for when we start our VIP group and get our website up and running properly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining us. See you next time. Good night.
Good night. Thanks, Bilo.
Thank you.